Right, welcome, Senior 2. This is the what I asked you to do for your practical. Put a folder, practical 2, and download the file that I sent you. Put it inside, and this gonna be your working area. This is the area or the folder where you're gonna save all your work at. You can also create another folder within here and name it a working folder and then save everything your work there. But it's all up to you. The important thing is that you should be able to locate your file, where you're saving your file, and able to go to and retrieve the file or open the file again when it's required. Right, so this is the two files. I'm going to open up the PDF file, which give us the instruction for practical. And I have asked you to do task number 2. And every time that a evidence will show up, you do not need to do the evidence now. You will require to do it later on. But just gonna do a few things just um, to do that before we can do the evidence. Right now, I have my question here. Let me open up my file as well. I have my file ready as well here. I have my question. Let me maximize that up. Right. You can pause the video anytime. Get to your take notes or reread the question yourself. But here we have the question, so we're gonna go over it together. All right. Task 2, spreadsheet. Every time you see the word spreadsheet, meaning you're gonna use the Microsoft Excel. And if you open the file given, it should be opened up automatically using the spreadsheet. All right. You are going to prepare a spreadsheet for special disk sales. This company makes and sells storage devices. The company has 49 employees, and the company uses a spreadsheet to record the hours worked each week and calculate the pay of the employees. All employees are paid in euros. I'll just highlight out a few things. Um, but when you do your exam or exercise and your even in a paper, you use your pen to highlight all. So now you know it's in euros. You're going to be using the euros currency sign. All employees are paid in euros, which must be displayed as two decimal place. This is very important as well. Euro and two decimal place. Open and examine the file in a spreadsheet package. Of course, we're using a spreadsheet, and replace the text in cell A1 with STS weekly pay. Delete row 3 to row 7 and format the top of the spreadsheet to look like this, meaning to format everything that you've seen in the picture here to exactly look like the one to show up in your spreadsheet. Format and merge cell A1 to have a highlight text on a green background. Save the spreadsheet as the file name STS underscore followed by the sender number and candidate number. For example, STS underscore ZZ99, which is going to be your center number. For us, it would be D0003. And candidate number, since you do not have a candidate number yet, you can use any 4 digits for your candidate number. All right, let us begin. Examine, right? You open up the file and examine, have a look, right? The first thing I usually do with my spreadsheet, as I go and highlight them all from the corner there, and just go to any of the line between these columns and double click on it. Right? What it will do is automatically fit everything to show all the data um, um, that has been hidden or overlap. Right? Now we can easily see. Now we can see that this is the office and office code, office name. Now something you have to learn here is to understand the data. Right? So it looks like you have some office code that gives you a office name Amsterdam, office code B Brussels, C is Cologne, all up to C, right? Now you come here and you look at job, and you have some job code, job description, and also rate of pay, right? So also most like the office, the job has the code S1, which is mean description office sales, and the rate of pay is 10. I'm sure that's maybe 10 euro per hour, right? So each of the job have their own job code, they have their names, and they have their rate of pay, right? And then we go along down, we see the employees. They have their own payroll numbers for each employee, their first name, a column name, office code, the job code, office name, which is empty, job description, contact hours, hours worked, rate, and pay, right? So, and there are lists along, and then you have account here and also a total, which is some data on the bottom here, right? Now, at least you have a fair understanding of the data, and later on, you are required to use this understanding to do your formula or your functions later on to complete your task, right? Now, I am going to put this text here in cell A1, right? So you go to cell A1 up here, replace this with the text that um, shown before. Make sure you type it according to what it says, not exactly what it says. Um, delete row 3 to row 7 inclusive, meaning everything from row 3 to row 7, you highlight them like this, right? You can't just go and highlight everything here. You have to go all the way to the column numbers, to the row numbers, and highlight from 3 all the way to 7. Right click and delete, right? Once you delete, all the cells from the bottom has been shifted up, right? And now you have a new row 3 to row 7. Format the top spreadsheet to look like this. Now let's have I'll try and describe to you some key features that you might see here, and then we'll go back and try and do all the work. Okay? Now the first one is that you see that this is row 1, all right? This is the whole of row 1, not the whole of row 1, but um, row 1 going all the way from this column A to column K, right? And if you see it like this, it means that column from A to K is being merged together, become one cell from all the way from A1 to K1, right? And you can see the data there. It's already been in white font. This is like a gray background. You can see that the column number 2 here, see the column number 2 here is been decreased in size, and we can almost see the number 2. You can see the word office there. It looks like it's being italic and also centered in the middle of the cell, also centered in the middle from bottom to top, and also from left to right, right? See the same thing here for job. You can see the office code here. You can see the office name, and the office name comes in uh, two row, right? Meaning that the office name we use that little text wrap that I showed you. to separate the name like this. Otherwise, it will stay on just on one row, right? But here, when you see the names being separated like this, meaning the use of text wrapped, right? Same here, text wrap here, but we all know that it looks like it's being bolded and a little bit of um, and also italic, right? Now we see that the office code here and office name, there is no, we can see the grid lines, all right? These little lines here are not the actual, this is not an actual lining. This is the grid line from the spreadsheet, the grid lines that is in blue color, blue light color here in the background here. But the examiner need to show it to us to see which row are we into and which column are we into, right? See, all the grid lines, there's nothing inside here with the grid lines. Same thing here, there's a little box on the outside. Also, you can see there's already um, the euro currency sign is there, and it's just on the side of the numbers, two decimal places. You can see that this one does not have any, it's just on the left align there on the column, it's left align on the column, no bold, no italic. You can see um, the ones here are almost the same as the names on row 4. So row 4 and row 16, they almost have the same type of editing, right? So let's go ahead and start from our row number 1. Right? So you can see in row 1 here, it's also right aligned, right? So all the way from A to K. So you highlight all the way from A to K, you go up there and you look at the merge and center, or you can merge cell, right? Now the whole cell has been merged, right? You can see that our font is in white, so we change the font into white and change the background into gray, little bit of gray. I'll put in a gray, and also it's on the right side, right? Right aligned side. So go for look for the alignments and put them on the right. Now we can see that it has been increased in size. So we are going to do some increase in size, but let me see the bottom one if it shows there what's the size. The size here is not given, so I'll just increase it in size, just a bit few more size so we can see the actual size being changed. I'll change the size, make it up to 26. Looks better. Also, I think it looks bold. Let's check if it looks the same now. A little bit bigger. So go from 26 all the way to 36, and then we'll stay there. Right? Now our top one looks good now. Oh, sorry. Dark green background, dark green background. So I'll just click here and change the background. Do the darkest green we can find there. Yeah, let's go all the way dark green. Right? Right. Our second row, you can see the size has been decreased. So just go to the side to the row here, click on here and check it up a little bit. You can see that 2 is almost disappearing. That's good enough. Office, um, I'll do the row 3 and 4 the same, right? Since they are almost the same. So 3 and 4, it looks like it's centered. It's a bit bold and also italic, right? You can see that it's the same. Now we're gonna select those one that has the 2 column names and put them as the text wrap. So I'll select this one, wrap text, right? Wrap text or text wrap. So I'll click on text wrap. the name doesn't change, but do not worry, I'll show you how to do that. Also, job code and job description. Job code and job description. I'll have them text wrap as well. Now, maybe there's enough space here for the name to fit, so it does not have to go into. You can go to the name here and give it some more space, maybe 3, and then click on the bottom here and you can see it will change, right? So do the same for job code, give some space so it looks like they can't fit, so they're gonna um, cut them into, right? Now it does. Job description, do the same thing, give it a lot of space inside so the computer would have to um, cut it up into. There you go. Right? And the rest of them just stay the same. Yeah, looks better now. The office code and office name. Let me show you how you do this. You highlight them up, right? And you put a box outside. So I think it looks like a little thick box. So this is the border, and do a thick box border outside. If you click out here, you can see the border is there. But we need we need to fill this up white, fill the inside of this with white, so it takes away the grid lines, right? Do the same for here. Put a box border on the outside and also fill it white. There you go. Oh, sorry, I'll reverse that. It has to go all the way from the codes. Sorry. Border box outside, a thick border box, and also fill it with white, and it should be good now. Right? Let's have a check. Um, looks good. Right? Change our rate of pay here. These are all should be in currency. So right click here, go to format cells. This one is a currency. I want the symbol to be euro. So I want you to scroll around, look for your euro. Let's see this euro here. Two decimal places. Press OK. Right? Looks good. Right, for employees, for row number 15 and row 16, I'll do the same what we have done there. Put it on bold, put it on italic, put it in the middle, or center it there, and also center it horizontally and center it vertically, right? After that, you choose the one that has the text wrap, which is the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have them text wrapped. And also this next 4 here have it text wrapped as well. We need to show it like how it shows on the diagram. Right, so I auto fit this and then it cuts into 2. Maybe I should auto fit everything just to see the changes you should have. Right, most of them already changes, but the office name does not change, and also office code, first name and last name. So I'll give them the space thing that I showed you from before. Put a little space, and then it will cut itself into 2 columns. job code. Job code does not only the office name. Space on the office name and right and paste it the same. Right. It looks the same now. Right. This one is a little bit. I'll have it a little bit increased up so we can actually see that they're the same. Alright, looks good. That will give you about 11 marks. Now, this is the second very important stuff is when you save your work. When you save your work, you yourself have done this editing to some data that you were opened before, right? You opened the data before, and if you see the data at the beginning, the data comes in the file, which is a, let me just show you. The file is a Microsoft Office Excel, comma, separated value file. It's a CSV file, right? Or you can see here that the file that we opened was a CSV file. A CSV file is just a collection of data separated by comma, right? Collection of data separated by comma. But now you have done some editing to it. If you save it again as a CSV file, your editing will be lost. The editing will not be stored or saved, right? Your editing will be all for nothing if you do not save it in the right way. Now, it asks you to save it as this. Let me show you how you save this. It's easy. Just do a save as, and you can see I'm on my desktop on my practical tool. So this is my working area. I'll type in my file name, stc, change this to the 003, and I will have my candidate number as 1234. Now, before you save it, you have to change the save as data type and change it into an Excel workbook, right? You can also save it at least an Excel workbook. Excel workbook or Excel 97 to 2003 workbook, they're the same thing, right? So go with Excel workbook to save your editing. Then press save, right? Now you can see the top of your file has been changed into the name that you have changed to, right? This is the first part of doing the that's number 2, and then we'll look at the second one. Place your name, center number, and candidate number right aligned in the header. Right aligned in the header, right? So you go there, you go to insert, header, and footer, and you can see the header there. Left, center, and right align. I'll have my name, candidate now, center number is DO003. I'll just separate it by a comma, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 as my candidate number, right? Let's look at the place the text last revised on, followed by an automated date, then a space, and then the automated time, left aligned in the header, right? You need these words, and then followed by all these stuff that required here, right? So left aligned in the header, this is the left side, last revised on, and followed by an automated date. Now you need to insert a date here. As you can see the top here, there is a automated date, or the date or the current date is just an automated date, right? Once you click on it, you can see that it's some kind of a code, right? That doesn't mean that the date is not there. The date is there. If you click somewhere else, you can see the date, but it's an automatic date. So it gives some sort of code that brings the current date and put it inside automatically. So followed by a space and then automated time. You can see there's a current time there, and if you type it in, same thing will show, which is a piece of code that will bring the time, and then that's it. Date and time. Click somewhere else, and you can see that it's automatic in the top there. Left, center, and everything on the right. That gives you 2 marks. And number 3, right now, once you're done with doing anything on the header or on the footer, I want you to exit and go back to your uh, spreadsheet. Now, you can see my spreadsheet being cut up. And like I've taught you before, go to view and go to normal layout. Okay, normal layout doesn't show. Click here and there. It goes back to the normal layout. Do not worry about any dotted lines. That will show you this is the page margin. Especially if you're printing any if you're printing this out, the dotted line on the left side there will be your first page, and on the right side all the way to the next dotted line will be your second page. Right. Step number 3: create a name range called Office using only cell A5 to B13. A5 to B13. Like I said, this is a range of text. A5 to B13, so you go all the way to A5 from here and highlight all the way to B13 down there. Right? Name range this or call this range offices with the name offices. Now there are 2 ways to do this. You highlight it from A5 up to B15, right click, and then you have to name a range there, and then type in the office, right? Offices, and then press OK. The quickest method is just highlight this, go to the name box, we call this the name box, and type in offices. Press enter. Right? Now you can see the offices showing up there. If you click anywhere else, it will give you the cell address. If you go to the top down arrow, the office is there. Once you click on offices, it's highlighted. The range is called office. So we're using a name to indicate a range of cells, right? That's what about name range. Make sure you're able to describe this in words if you're asked. Highlight and then go to the name box and type in the name and press enter. Right? That's number 3. Gets you 2 marks. Evidence, we will do the evidence later on, but for now, just skip the evidence. Oh, still a lot to go. All right, step 4. In cell F17, use a function to look up the office name, using the office code column for the lookup value and the range offices for the array, right? We're gonna use the range, right? Let me highlight a few things here. In cell 17, meaning everything that you do it in F17 to look up the office name. Use the office code and also uses the office's range, or just we highlight the office range. Right now, F17. Let's look at F17. That's F17. Right, F17 is there. Now you're gonna use this office code to bring the office name. You're gonna use the office code to bring the office name. You can look up here, and we can see the office code is up there. So F, the office code F will give me the name Ankara, Ankara, right? So, but I am going to write a function in F17 to use the office code, to use this table here, which already name it as offices, to find me the office name and bring it here automatically, right? Now, we look at the data first. The Of course we know that we are using the lookup functions, but look at the data. The data is arranged from up to down. That's label, and then data is listed up to down. That is vertically, right? So we're gonna use the VLOOKUP, right? You can click up here and type it there, or you can just type it down there using the equal sign. Okay, let me do it on the top. Using the equal signs and then VLOOKUP, because it's a vertically lookup functions. You double click on the function and then it will help you out. You always have to look at that to help you out. Now the first thing is a lookup value. That's what you're going to use for your lookup. And of course you're using the office code, so you click on office code, which is T7, T17, and then these data are separated by comma. You use a comma there, and then your table array, like I said, this is going to be your table array from A5 to B13, but we're not going to highlight this and use this. We're going to use the office, right? You're going to use the office. So type in their offices, OFFICS, right? As you can see, the offices there is already shown up. And then that's your table array, to another comma. Your column index, remember we'll talk about this. If you find your code here on this column number 1, then this is column number 2. Which kind of data would you find? When you find F, you will not to bring me column number 1 data, which is F itself. You need to give me the column number 2. So I'll type in 2 here, comma, and of course we always stick to false, curly bracket, close our functions and press enter. Now you can see that if I click here, um, it already bring us the Ankara, and this is gonna be the functions that we were using, right? This is the function that we were using. VLOOKUP, and use T17 as your lookup value. The offices here, which is a name range. We're not going to highlight the table. We're using the names. Bring me the column number 2, column number 1, column number 2, and of course false. Right? That's number 4. You got 4 marks. Easy, easy 4 marks. Number 5. In cell G17, use a function to look up job description. Use the job code for the lookup to not use array name range, right? You can see this meaning you're not gonna use any name. You are going to use the table, right? You're gonna highlight the range, not using any naming, right? So this time is the job description that we want to bring out using the job code to get the job description using this table. This time is this table, right? Now we can see that the data is listed vertically, so use the equal sign. I can do it down there, or I can do it up here. Equal sign V lookup. The lookup value shows up. I lookup functions. Double click on it. Your lookup value, right? The job description, we're using the job code, so you click on the job code for your lookup value, comma. The table array. Now, to highlight the data that you're gonna use to bring the job description, you are going to not highlight the labels. We're only highlighting the data. Now we are highlighting from all the way from the code and also the job description. We're not highlighting all the way to the pay, the rate of pay, because we do not need the rate of pay. We only need this amount of data from here down here. All right. So after you highlight your table that is required for your lookup, another comma, a column index, of course, this is column number 1. You want the job description. Column number 2, comma, and then of course false. Close our functions and press enter. You can see that it went with the MI, look for it vertically here, found the MI, return the second column, which is manufacturing, and put it here, right? Same thing it does with the F here of the job code to keep the job name, the office name. Sorry. So it went the office code. And when you look for F, using F, found the match, bring me column number 2, which is the office name, and put it up here, right? So that's another 5 marks. In cell J17, use a function to look up the rate of pay. To not use a name range, right? Almost the same as this. You are going to use their job code to find their this time the rate of pay. Okay, right? T rate of pay from J17, right? So again, we know this is arranged. We need to bring back the rate of pay. Data is arranged vertically. So up here to equal, we look up. Sorry, let me reverse that back. Equal, we up, lookup value. What are you going to use? Because remember, this is going to be on this table, so you're going to use the job code. Again, come to job code and click on it. Comma. You need your table array. This time we're going to highlight the data, but it goes now to all the way up to the office, to the rate of pay. Highlight them, release, comma, the index, the column index that you want to return, 1, 2, 3, column number 3, comma, exact match, close it up and press enter, right? Now it gives out the rate of pay 12.5, right? So you take the job code, look for its match, found it is M1, go all the way to column number 3, and bring it, which is 12.5, and put it up there, right? The currency symbol is not there yet. We need to format this to currency symbol later on, right? That is the number 6. Number 7. In cell K17, use a formula to calculate the pay based on the hours worked by the employee. That's 2 marks. And we know that the pay is just the hours work multiplied by the rate per, of course this rate here is the rate per hour, so hours work multiplied by the rate to get your pay, right? So depending on hours worked, right, multiply the hours worked by the rate, it gives you your pay. So we're gonna type in the equal signs. The hours work cell is I-17, we click on it, and then we do the multiply signs and multiply with the rate, right? Multiply with the rate and press enter, right? Right? Again, the yeah, this box here, I-17 multiplied by J-17 equal to, that's my pay. But there's nothing on hours work. That's why it gives you a 0. You will fill it in later, and you can see the work that you've done. Replicate the function each in step 4 to 7 for each employee. Now you are going to replicate the functions. Replicating the function means copying it. So this is the function that I first did. It was the office name. Go to the corner right box, click and drag it to the bottom, to the end. Right, here release, and you can see it's doing the same functions to go and bring in the office name using the office code. Do the same thing for the this, right? Do not worry about this NA here. I will describe to you the NA. Now, as you can see, this one we were using the word office. Word office. When you're using the word office and you copy the data down, you copy the formula down or the functions down, the office does not change. It just refers to the same kind of data. But for job description, we were using the uh, table or the range. Once we go down, the range changes, but we need it to stay the same. So on the first one, we're gonna put here absolute reference on the cells, on the range of cells, so it does not move. So put a dollar sign on the D, dollar sign on the 5, dollar sign on the E, and dollar sign before the 13. I am doing this step now just for you to understand because of this error here. The computer is going and looking at a different place and couldn't find our job description. But in the case of something like this, you know that your table is shifted and you're not finding the right table. So you need to put an absolute reference on your range of cells or your tables. Press enter. Now it's the same thing again, but copying it this time should get our data and should remain on the table of data and not changing. Okay. Also the rate, copy it down, we'll bring the rate, right? See, same thing happened on the rate, meaning that uh, the reference to the table have changes. So we make it absolute by putting the dollar sign on front of the D, front of before 5, before the F, and before 13. Right, press enter. Remember that change you have to put at the top, and then change everything else as you copy it down. Right, now it gives you all the rate and also copy the huh? That is your step number 8 here, 1 mark. Yeah. In cell 100, sorry, I-67, use a function to count the number of employees who work some hours during this week. Who work some hours, right? Some hours, who work some hours, in meaning at least greater than 0, right? If you have a 0 hours of working, you didn't work on anything, right? But for a greater than 0 working hours, meaning you did work some hours, right? So our counting uh, on I-67 will show the number of people on this range of cells work hour or hours work that is greater than 0, right? So we need the function to do the counting. We press equal and then start writing count. When you start to type in count, you can see that there are different counts, and you can press on each of them to see what's the different function. The count is count the cells in a range that contain a number. Count A, count a number of cells in a range that are not empty, right? If you put a 0 there, of course you will count the 0, right? Because it's not empty, right? But we need that to count the one that's not empty but have a number greater than 0. Count blank counts the number of empty cell in a specified range of cells. Count if counts the number of cells within a range that meet a given condition. Yeah, we need to do a count if just to count how many of them that is greater than 0, right? So I'll double click on the count if and the range, meaning the counting where will it be done. So I'll scroll to the top. Our counting will start from here and go all the way to the bottom here. Release. Right now your cells is there. That's the range. You can see the range being highlighted here. That's the range. It's over there. Put the comma and the criteria. What is the criteria? Greater than 0. So you type in a mathematical criteria greater than 0, and then close the functions and press. Well, sorry, I think I must have right. So I have to put the greater than 0 in a text quotation. I'm not sure why, but it's the numbers in quotation should not be done like that, but it works. It counts that it's 0 now because there's no number there and there's nothing there that greater than 0. So let's continue on. In cell number 10, step 10. Oh, sorry, we've done this. But in cells K67, use a function to calculate the total pay for all the employees. Right, we need the total pay here for all the employees. All the employees from up beginning here all the way down. So we're going to use the sum function, right? Sum function is much easier. So we type in equal, type in sum, double click on the sum, and then the numbers separated by comma, but you can just highlight the range. So you need to calculate the total for all of it. Sum this all up, and you will give the, well, let's look after number that is the total pay, right? Release and press enter. Of course, the total pay is going to be 0. It's a sum from K17 to K65. Number 11, the hours worked by all employees were the same as their contract hours except for the following. Right? Right? Everybody else exact as their contract hours except for these people who changes. Place the number of hours worked for each employee in the hours worked column. Right? Alfonso uh, Zeri, hours worked is 16. Siege Anaya, Siege Anaya, Siege Anaya, 24. Hayne Westmula, 0. Tracy Rael, 32. Tracy Cushing, Tracy Rael. Tracy Smith, Tracy Loyal, 32. Sandra Cooper, 0. Amy Nichols, 34. Amy Nichols, 34. There is no easier way to do this. You have to find them. Pablo Bravo 22. Pablo Bravo 22. Peggy Hedges 25. Tracy Cushing 16. Tracy Cushing 16. Altamar Webber 12. And Dalina Senga 42. Last one is Carl Saylor 40. Carl Saylor 40. Right? Now let's just put back all the numbers. Those people working, everyone else is work the number of hours required. Okay. As you become better at this, there's a way to do this a little bit faster, but I'm not gonna show it to you. I'm not gonna have you confused. Right? Now, if you see this here on the, you can see that there is a hashtag showing here. Hashtag showing here. Right? What does it mean? Do not be surprised. The hashtag there meaning the number that's supposed to show inside cannot fit there. So you have to do something about the number. Either you increase the width of the cell, right? So I'm going to increase the width of the cell, or if I double click on this, will come on. See, the number will show up because of it cannot fit on the width there was before. And it will show that the number there, the hashtag. Apply the appropriate formatting to row 17 to 67, all the way from row to 67. Right, the appropriate formatting, usually the rate and pay, of course, they are in money, dollar sign, sorry, euro. So right click there, format cell, currency, so all the way down to euro France. Put a small place, sorry, not the euro France. Looks like that goes in the back. Belgium, yeah, it goes in the front. press OK. Right, the bay again does not show, so I'll double click again there. Everything will show. And then I think that's all the editing it needs. Right, also this one will show in the now here's something useful. If you want this cell and this cell to have the same formula, not formula, the same editing or same whatever format you've done to that, just click on this one, go to home, and click on the little format painter with the little paint brush, meaning it has already copied the editing that we've done to this one. I'll just click it here and automatically it gets the currency and all the editing that we have done from the bottom one, and it's already in here using the little brush, right? So the brush will come in handy later on. And then number 13, save your spreadsheet. Make sure the printout fits on the single page while content of all the cells will be visible. No split words. That would be your printout number 1. Your printout spreadsheet showing the formula. Make sure there's a landscape orientation. Alright, that will be printout number 2. We will not do those one. Alright, we will not do the printout number 1 and printout number 2. Right, we'll stop there. We will look at step 15 to 19 on my next video. I'll stop here so we can so I can upload it easily.